But before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so that you never miss another video, and live up.
The most important thing to me is to feel free and to be able to express myself, and, you know, to not be controlled or boxed in by anyone or anything or anyone's belief or expectation of me. I am very much a swim my own stroke, you know, even if it's against the current, and I'm happiest that way. So I always knew that I wanted to live out loud, you know, and just live very much my own thing, whatever that would be.
And that was one of the first things I fell in love with her, because when I met Sheri, she was such a force of nature. She was a person that you couldn't buy her. Like, what I mean is, like, Sheri either in a good way likes you, if she likes you as a person. She doesn't care how much money you have. She doesn't care how famous you are. She does not care. I always say, before, she never had a price until she had children, because she'll do anything for them. But before that, like, she just, you know, she lives her life, and it just is so authentically about the people around her and who's in her life. And because most of the time when you talk to people, and they're either trying to make a position, you know, they're either trying to work an angle or something like that. And she was just one of the first people I ever met that was not working an angle. She is what she is, and how she relates to you is how she relates to you. And I just love that. It's very authentic.
So I don't think I could ever be the president of the United States, though,
No.
because I'm way too emotional.
Way too real.
Right? I have like this sneaking suspicion that there's like this, if we don't go after in some way those things that fascinated us as children, we feel like a little bit dissatisfied until we deal with that.
It's like you do have these dreams when you're a little girl, and then if it's not to only have children and be like a housewife, which nothing against that, it's a very interesting, you have to really navigate it, you know, in a way. I feel younger today than I did when I was 35 with 3 young children, you know.
Definitely.
I feel younger, I feel reborn in a way that I can kind of, you know, go after my dreams again. You know, not that my dream wasn't to have great kids and happy kids and be a mom. That was part of it, but it's, you know, the moral of this story is that it literally, age just means nothing. It's really where your heart and your excitement and your passion kick in and seriously ignite your entire being. And I really feel that I don't even feel like I'm halfway there.
This idea of like growing together, how does that happen?
I would say communication is the biggest, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't want to, and actually listening, you know, listening to each other. A big thing that I've seen a lot of, because we've had a lot of friends who they did make it, you know, and one of the biggest things I think I see with those couples is not talking to each other, and vindictiveness and pettiness and competition.
I think that's so big, and I think it's something people don't talk enough about. When I first met my husband, I really did try to like goad him into fighting with me, and like he would say something, and I'd be like, woo, you know, and he was like, "I'm on your side."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa, okay, I'm disarmed." Well, what do I do with this? And it really was this like idea of, we are a team.
Yeah.
So it's about being united front, not only to children because they're like sharks, you know, but really to like his parents have a joke because I'm fiercely defensive. I have your back no matter what.
Yeah.
Like when the chips are down and there's no one else standing, I have your back no matter what.
Yeah.
And that is such an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
And so like, that's one of my big takeaways from you two is, if you're going to be with somebody who actually likes the whole you.
Yeah.
Who admires the whole you and may not agree with all of it, but accepts and loves authentically, because otherwise you're just going to be living a life of lies until finally at some point you're like, I'm tired of this lie. I'm going to try to sum this up. Like, what are the big life lessons I get to take from Sheri and Derek? And I think number one, you guys said it, it's authenticity. And that is so linked to the communication and the willingness to say what's on your mind and then to choose. That was the first word you said when we started this conversation, Sheri, and I think it probably is the core of all of this. You're choosing communication. You're choosing to be fearless in sharing your feelings and thoughts and opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And you're choosing to face conflict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're choosing to grow together.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're choosing to show up together
Mm-hmm.
as a team. And it was like the second thought I had when you started talking was I was like, damn, it's Sheri and Derek against the world.
We always say Wonder Twins.
We do that. Do you remember Wonder Twins? Like those two?
Totally.
Okay. Because sometimes.
And then this other big thing I think, that I'm really going to take from this, especially as a parent, but also just as we think about the people we choose in our lives and our lives in general, is this idea of know yourself first.
Yeah.
Because whether it's through choosing to be with somebody, family alignment or not, you two, yin and yang, you said we have the same values.
Yeah.
Different opinions.
Yeah.
And we have different priorities and we like different things and we're going to approach things differently, but we share the same values.
Yeah.
And you can't know that unless you know yourself. You know what? At the end of the day, we're making choices constantly.
Making choices, and we had a giant, no, it wasn't a fight last night, but it was one of our deepest talks ever. And I said at the end of the day, after all of this, I still choose you. I still choose to be with you. And because I really wanted him to know, because he was feeling a certain type of way, and and I just really wanted him to know that because we had this talk and because he let me say what was on my mind, and I felt really heard, and that it was really important to him, and that I totally love being with him, and that I still choose you.
Still choose you too, honey.
Yeah, it's all about choice and freedom.
Thank you both so much for
Francis.
being with me and for being so honest and so incredibly inspiring. I'm so grateful that I get to know the two of you.
Oh.
Our paths have crossed. That I get to take in the benefit of your life experience and your life lessons. I'm so inspired to just keep choosing love. Have a wonderful day, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.